Hi folks, I'm Nate with Two Guys to Ride. Today, Rob and I are here at Mustangs on the Mississippi at Treasure Island Resort and Casino, and we're here with Scott and this very, very unusual GTT behind us. Yeah, you heard me right, a GTT. So, Scott, tell us what this is.
Well, it started off as a 2016 Mustang GT. A company was formed between Kenny Fitzer and another individual called 0 to 60 Design in LA. And their idea was to take a Mustang and morph it into something that looked a lot like the 2017 GT supercar that was released that year. So a lot of the styling cues came off the GT body. They basically built the car for SEMA.
And that's where you first saw it.
Yeah, I saw it.
Only it wasn't this color.
No, it was Ferrari red with silver accents at the show. And they planned to build 50 of them.
Okay.
And showed it at SEMA. Evidently got deposits for 50 cars. And as they were getting ready to go into production, Ford didn't like what they were doing, evidently.
I wonder why.
And maybe sent them a letter or whatever. So anyway, so there was a legal battle there that went on for quite some time.
Several years.
Yeah, it sounded like it.
Because this was actually sitting, you said, for a while
like
at West Coast Customs.
Yeah, it was at West Coast Customs, evidently, that's where the car ended up.
All right, so fast forward a couple years.
Yeah.
How do you spot the car again? Where do you see it?
I see it posted on an ad on a Mustang Facebook page. Somebody had taken it off Streetcar Marketplace and placed it over there. I read the ad. I was very intrigued at the styling. I love the GT, and called the guy on the ad and in 5 minutes and talked to him for 45 minutes about the car right away.
Okay, because I mean, we all know that SEMA builds are awesome, but sometimes in the rush to complete them, they're not something you necessarily want to take out on the road right out of the showroom floor. That's right. So there's some concern about the car. So you find them, you contact him, you talk to him. Yeah. He's going to want a deposit. Do you put a deposit down right away?
No, I didn't. I tried to find a couple of friends in California to go look at it. Timing wasn't good. My girlfriend and I just happened to be going to Phoenix the next week. Some flight issues came up. We ended up with a spare day. I contacted the guy. I said, hey, can I be there tomorrow to look at it? And he said, sure. So we drove from Phoenix to LA and took it for a test drive, looked the car over. It looked like a really decent, really high quality build, and made him an offer on it.
All right, and he right. So, but you didn't offer it on the spot. You actually got on the plane.
I said, hey, I traveled all this way. Can you give me 24 hours to kind of come up with my offer? Yeah. And he says, yeah, that's fine. You deserve that. So I said, that's great. And I made him an offer before I got on the airplane. He accepted it, and I spent most of the summer waiting to get it. Yeah.
So it took several months to get it yet. Yeah. What a story, though, from going to see it. And it was a red color there.
Yeah, it was originally Ferrari red with silver accents. And sometime after the show, they painted it this matte silverish gray color.
Okay.
And there's a mark about that long on the inner fender that's still Ferrari red, just for provenance.
Well, talk about that. Let's take a look at the engine. Sure. Okay, so obviously you got the 0 to 60 badging from the company. Anything else here changed from what Ford would have put on?
It's got a Pro Charger.
Pro Charger,
yeah,
okay.
Pro Charger and injectors. I don't think they really did much else to it than that.
But how many horsepower does it turn out?
It's supposed to be about 750 on premium and 8 something on E85.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's some serious horsepower. How about torque?
Don't know.
Don't know.
I'm
it's
sure
going to be a lot.
It's up there.
Plenty.
Yeah.
You don't need to worry about it at that point,
it's
right?
got enough, yeah.
Oh, man. Okay. Well, let's step around. Well, let's step back for a minute because there are just some really nice cues. I love this whole front end. Yeah. And I love what they've done where they put the black, where they put the silver. I mean, that's a really nice color.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. The Ferrari red didn't do anything for me when I saw it. The body lines just kind of muted out.
Let's point that out because it's still here on the right fender somewhere, right? It's inside.
There's Ferrari red right
there.
So there's rumors that there's multiples, but
somewhere.
Yeah, that's
okay. Those are Easter eggs you'll find later, right? It's part of the fun of owning the car. All right. we can close this.
Okay.
Is the hood carbon fiber?
I believe it's composite. It's got GTT molded into the hood.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, nice little touch.
It is.
Yeah, it's got some nice little touches to it.
Tell us about the brakes, because those were upgraded.
Yeah, large Brembos. They actually look kind of small with the giant 22-inch wheels.
The big wheels, aren't
they? Yeah, wrapped in Continentals, and
I bet your stop's good.
Stops good, goes good, turns good. Yeah.
All right.
Does all the things.
I love the stripes down here. I mean, it's just so, whoever designed it
Kenny
did
Fitzer.
did the color scheme really well. I mean,
Yeah.
it is really a beautiful looking vehicle. It's like a driving piece of art.
Yeah.
Now the back end, you know, we got some different things back here. I love the GTT badging, the round tail lights at the end.
Yeah, a little tip of the hat to the GT.
Yep. Is the trunk about the same then? Trunk space, everything? Oh, that would be probably nothing in there.
Yeah,
too much change.
It's got a huge sub in the back.
Oh, okay, a big
huge sub
big,
says GTT on it. It's full of lawn chairs and things in there. Right
okay,
now,
yeah, we won't open that now. So tell us about what they changed on the interior.
The interior, I mean, it's fairly stock. It's got some really deeper caros in it. It's got carbon fiber steering wheel. It's got carbon fiber treatment on the dash.
Okay.
You know, everything's got GTT on it. The upholstery, the floor mats, you know, it's badged up on the inside pretty well.
Okay.
Either says 0 to 60 or GTT on it.
Okay, so probably not remanufactured parts, but they've gotten covered. They've removed and covered with their custom touch.
It's all Alcantara leather.
Yeah,
Alcantara leather, headliner, and everything's all been redone. Yep.
So, what's it like to get out and drive it?
It's interesting. It really doesn't compare. I got a couple of Shelbys, and it really doesn't drive like one of them. My Shelbys I consider those pretty civilized. This is a little uncivilized. Yeah, it's a treat. I mean, it's you know, it's something to look at. I mean, it's got the go, it's got the stop, and you know, it has all the stuff. But I mean, it's really the body lines, and
it is
a
gorgeous
everybody
car.
That walks up to it that has any appreciation for it just says, put the hood down. I want to see the lines.
Those lines, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's what got me too, is the GT styling cues and the lines, and
you know, and I mean, this is a piece of automotive history, and you have
in a sense it is, yeah.
I mean, just that, you know, when they first started making the Mustang, they put out the Ford Cayuse as one of the possible models a couple years before, saying, and then made slight changes, and they put it out just to see if people wanted it. Well, you know, we filmed one of those. That was a one of a kind.
Sure.
You know, because they tried to destroy all those cars. But I mean, this is a one of a kind, and it was saved.
Yeah.
That's just awesome. Now, what got you in cars in the first place? Why not go buy a cabin?
Well, I've always been.
Or did you have one of those already?
No,
so you needed a car?
kind of.
Okay.
I've always been a motorcycle guy. I used to drag race and was always into street bikes, and never really fell into the car thing until probably the early 2000s. And I always wanted a Mach 1, 69 Mach 1. Bought a 69 Mach 1 out of Florida. Got it home. Redid some things on it. It was all numbers matching, 351 4-speed. And you know, it took a couple of years restoring that, put it all back to original. And when I got done with it, it was like the little bit of time that we get to drive cars in Minnesota.
Yeah.
If the carb's leaking, or the turn signal's not working, or the horn decides to quit working, it's always some little thing. Even no matter how well you restore it, there's always the little things because it's an old car. And I was just like, gosh, I really want something I can just jump in and go. And that's when the 2013 GT500 was coming out, and I said, I'm going to have to jump on one of those. So I sold my Mach 1 in the fall, put a deposit down on a 13. As it turns out, it ended up being a 14 because they kind of split the build year that year, and ended up with a 14. So I've had two 2014s, I had a 2016 GT350, and I've got a 2020 GT500 now.
So you had multiple different Mustangs. So which one's your favorite when you go out there?
This one for looks.
This one for looks.
Yeah. This
like
is
it's
the head
a little bit of a wildcat to drive.
Yeah, it drives fine.
It drives,
I mean, it's not as civil as a factory-built car.
So, during the summer, you know, sometimes collectors will will drive their cars. I mean, that's why they got them. So it's not like to put a million miles on them, like whatever, but they will get out and they will make sure that car is driven every week.
Sure.
This one, and some people want a museum piece. What's this for you?
This is like you said. I think it's more rolling art. You know, I think it belongs at all Ford shows, Mustang shows, those types of things. Those are the people that really appreciate it.
Appreciate that. Yeah, one of a kind.
And I'm actually surprised how many people actually knew about the car before I even got it. And I've had it at 2 car shows now, 2 weeks in a row. And I've had at least half a dozen people at each show come up to me and say, "Is that the same car I saw on YouTube or TikTok?"
Oh, interesting.
And I said, "Yeah, but it was red, right?" And I go, "Yeah, it was red." And I said, "Well, this is the Ferrari red. This is the original. It's the only one." And yeah, it's amazing how car culture picks up on these things. You know?
And your plan for the future with this car is just to continue to show it at shows?
Maintain it and bring it to, you know, the select shows. And
yeah.
Thank
you so much for spending your time. Tell us about this beautiful
it was great
GTT.
talking to everybody here
today.
We
just appreciate it.
Yeah, people really enjoyed it.
Great piece of Mustang history.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Yeah, you bet. My pleasure.
Thanks for watching.